Hi guys, it's Bethany, your crafty BFF, coming on for part 2 of this tutorial. In the first part, I explained how I came up with all the measurements for this 3 signature 6.5 by 8.5 mini album, and we also went over how to wrap your chipboard and make your hinges, and we covered the inside in part 1. Then finally, I ended the video by making our 3 pocket pages. You can see here. I always write the measurements on it, so the measurements of what the matting is going to be, so that I don't forget and don't mess up. Or at least that's my system, and it works most of the time. Still make mistakes sometimes. I want to just let you know that it is the evening and my husband and kids are home. So if you hear the TV in the background and some little noises that my youngest special needs daughter is making, I apologize. There's no getting her to be quiet, so you might hear her. She likes to be known. So just bear with me and we'll try to get through this video. And let's go ahead and get started. So like I said, we built our pocket pages and the binding and the hinges, but we're not going to put the pages in the cover yet. I find it easier to build each page one at a time, and then once everything's put together, then we will put them into the book. So I'm going to set these aside for now, because the first thing that we're going to do is the inside covers. I kept it real simple for this part. Now, I want to say I did do a lot of prep work. I cut all of the paper, but I have the measurements written down here, and I will tell them to you before we score them. I am going to score them with you. So, like I said, we're putting the album and the pages aside, and for our front and back covers, you're going to need 2 pieces of 8 1/8 by 5 inches. I went over this in the first video, but I'll do it again. I have the measurements in order here because I do use 1/8, 1/8, 3/8, 5/8, and 7/8 of inches. And so I have them written here in order so that I don't forget. I mean, I've learned them pretty well by now, but in case you need to know, the 1/8 mark is the first little tick mark after the 1. So, after the first whole number. Okay, so let's get into this. We're going to take our first piece of 8 1/4, or 8 1/4, 8 1/8 by 5 inches, and on the 5-inch side, we're going to score them both at 1/2 inch. Now we will fold and crease them. And I'm going to move this out of the way to bring our album back in. We're going to place these inside the front and back covers, like so. I'm going to get my glue here. And we just put the glue on the 1/2 inch score. I'm a little messy. And I'm just going to line it up with the edge of my book here and press down. And then I like to open it up and press down on the actual hinge as well. So there's our first one. And then we will move to the second one on the back cover. And put these in. Line it up with the edge, press down, open it up, and press down again, just to make sure it's good and adhered. It's not going anywhere. Okay, so that's it for the front and back covers. Like I said, we're keeping it simple for that. After all, I designed this album to only use 12 by 12 double-sided papers. Okay, so let's move on to page 1. I did go over the video or the whole album in the first video, so you could see what we were making. So if you haven't watched that one, I suggest doing so you know what we're making. So for page 1, you need a piece that is 3 by 9 1/8, and a piece that is 5.5 by 4. We'll get our scoreboard back out. Now this 3 by 9 1/8 of an inch piece is a side pocket, and so we're going to score at a 1/2 inch on 3 sides. You're going to do the 2 short sides, so 1/2 inch on the 9 1/8 side, and then flip it to the 3-inch side, score at a 1/2 inch again, and then flip it one more time back to the 9-inch side to score another 1/2 inch. Now, before you do your folding, you want to cut this this corner piece off, and I just go like this. Just cut the corners off so that there's no bulk and the pocket folds nicely. Like so. I'm probably going to say like so a lot. I don't know why, but I've been saying it lately. Okay, and then for our 5.5 by 4-inch flap, we're going to put it on the 5.5 inch side and score at a 1/2 inch. Like so. We're going to fold and crease it. And we'll take our page 1 and we're going to put our pocket down first. So just add your glue or double-sided tape, whatever you want to use. I think the glue is easier, especially for pockets, so that you have time before it dries to place it correctly. Now we're going to place this pocket on the left side of the paper. Just line it up with the edge. Like that. And look, see, this is why I don't use double-sided tape. This is why I use wet adhesive. Now it's lined up, and I've pressed it down. And now I'm going to press down on the sides. The shorter sides, that is. And there we have our side pocket. Now we're going to take this 5.5 by 4-inch piece that we scored at a 1/2 inch, and we're going to line it up to the middle of the page on the right side. Add my glue. I'm going to turn this around just so I can guesstimate the middle here. And yeah, my writing's upside down now, but that's okay because it's going to be covered up anyways. Not to worry. And press down, and then I open it up and press down again. And there is our page 1. All done. Pretty simple, right? The back side of page 1, we're calling page 2. And actually, we're going to work on pages 2 and 3 at the same time because they are what I call twin pages. Take my paper clip off. So for pages 2 and 3, you need 2 pieces of 5.5 by 8 1/8. We're going to take those, both of those pieces, and on the, where'd my score tool go? There it is. Okay. It was under the pages. On the 5.5 inch side, we're going to score at, you guessed it, a 1/2 inch. Excuse me. We're going to fold and crease. And we're going to do the same to the second piece of 5.5 by 8 1/8. Score at 1/2 inch on the 5.5 inch side. Then you're going to fold and crease. Like I said, we're going to work on pages 2 and 3 at a time. So here is page 2, back of page 1. And we're going to place this guy here on the left, and on page 3 we're going to place this one on the right, on the very right side of page 3. So here's, start with this one, line it up to the edge, press down, open it up and press down again. So there's page 1 and 2 already done. Page 3, add our adhesive, and we're going to line this up on the right side of page 3. I'm flipping it to the side again so that I can line it up properly. Just like that. Actually, see, it's not even there at the bottom. So let's try again. There we go. Now it's close to perfect. I won't say perfect, but close to it. Okay, there we go. There's a page 1, 2, and 3 already done. Page 4. You're going to cut a top flap at 5 1/8 by 6.5. And then you're going to cut a piece 7 1/8 by 4.5. And that's going to be our bottom pocket. Page 4 is the back of page 3, just so we're all on the same page, right? That works on 2 levels. Okay, let's start with our pocket. We are going to, again, score on 3 sides. So the pocket is the piece that's 7 1/8 by 4.5. On the 7 1/8 inch side, you're going to score at 1/2 inch. Oops. You're going to flip it to the 4.5 inch side and score at 1/2 inch. And flip it again to the other side of the 7 1/8 side and score at 1/2 inch again. Let's go ahead and cut off our corners, just like we did for the side pocket. And then we are going to fold over our edges. And I'm going to use my bone folder to crease them down. I'll set that aside. And for this, this is the top flap, 5 1/8 by 6 1/2. On the 6 1/2 inch side, you're gonna score again at 1/2 inch. Fold it over, crease, and now we're ready to glue our stuff down. Oops, I dropped it. I'm gonna start with the pocket, add my adhesive to the little flappies, flappies, whatever you want to call them. Hinges, I bet that's the right word I'm looking for. I'm gonna line this pocket up here at the very bottom of the page. And press it down. There we have our pocket. You can see that. Ooh, look, I pulled it too hard. Okay, try that again. Now our top flap, we're going to line up the best we can in the middle of the page, like so. Add our glue, line it up. Like I said, you want to shoot for the middle and make sure there's equal amounts of space on both sides. Like so. We're gonna press that down, open it up, and press down again. And so that's it for page 4. Then put that to the side and get out our page 5 and 6. Now page 5 is our accordion fold, the double accordion folds. So you're going to need 2 pieces that measure 6 by 11. On the 11-inch side, we're going to score at 1/2 inch. And we're going to score at 6. Go ahead and do that to both of your 6-inch by 11-inch pieces. 1/2 inch and 6. And then you are going to fold back your crease. And then you're going to fold the 6-inch score over like that. And do the same thing to the other piece. Fold this guy over, and then you're gonna fold it like so. So that this hinge is on the left side and this hinge is on the right side. we're going to put our left one down first. Again, you want to try to find the center of your page the best you can with equal amounts of space on the top and bottom. Add our adhesive. And I'm going to line it up again. A little bit higher up, I think. There we go. Good enough for me. We're going to press that down, open her up, and press down again. Now we're going to take our second one and add our adhesive. And you want to line it up the best you can with the one on the left. So what I like to do is kind of hold them at the same time while I'm lining this up. That way they will be even. And press down. Then we can open this up and open this up and press down again. So there we have our double accordion folds, like so. And we have the back of it too. I place the right one down first and then lay the left one down on top. We're on our last page, guys. Not bad for 20 minutes. Let's see. Okay. Page 6. We need a piece that is 6 1/8 by 6 1/2. That's going to be our top flap. And then you need a piece that is 6 1/8 and 4, or 6 1/8 by 4 1/2. That's going to be our bottom flap. Now, on the 6 I'm sorry. That's 6 1/8. This is 6 1/2. Okay, actually it's 6 1/4. Okay, 6 1/4. But 6 1/2 will work just fine too. Don't worry. If you already cut the 6 1/2, it's perfectly okay. Either way, it will work. So this piece is 6 1/8 by 6 1/4. Now we're going to score on the 6 1/4 on the longer side. So 6 1/4, or if you did 6 1/2 on that side, you're going to score at a 1/2 inch. At a 1/2 inch and at 3/4 inch. I almost forgot. That's going to give us a little gusset. Because inside of our top and bottom flap, we're going to put a pull down waterfall. So I always fold the 3/4 inch score first, and then the 1/2 inch score, so it looks like that. And then for your bottom flap, the 6 1/8 by 4 1/2, you're going to put it on the 4 1/2 inch side, and you're going to score at 1/2 inch and at 3/4 inch again. Again, it's going to give us a little gusset, space for a little bulky 4x4 pull down waterfall. Now, I'm going to do a little mini pull down waterfall tutorial inside of this tutorial, but I'm also going to link in the description box the tutorial that I watched several times before I was able to do them on my own, because I think she explains it really well. And well, this is only my second tutorial, so I don't know how well I really explain things. For the pull down waterfall, you're going to need a piece. You're going to need to cut a piece that is 4 inches by 11 inches. You're going to need a piece that is 5 1/4 by 1 1/4. And you're going to need 6 pieces of 4 by 4. So I think I got them all. Yes, I do. Okay. Now, what we're going to do is your piece that is 4 inches by 11 inches, you're going to set it down on your scoreboard at the 11-inch side. And we're going to score a 1/2 inch, 1 inch, 1 1/2 inches, 2 inches, 2 1/2 inches, 3 inches, and that's it. Okay. And we're going to flip this over, and on that last score mark you did, go ahead and fold it down and crease it. And you're going to fold and crease each one of them. Each one of the score marks that we made. The way pull down waterfalls work is that you score the same amount of times as the number of pieces that you want to flip. So we have 6 4 by 4 pieces that are going to be the pull down, the parts that flip up, and we have 6 score marks, if that makes sense. Now, this can get, it took a while for me to get okay at waterfalls. I still don't think I'm great at them, but what you want to do is make sure that this is as straight as you can get it with the bottom. You see how it's lined up just about perfectly? Like all the folds are here now in front. What we're going to do is start at the bottom, and we're going to add our pieces onto each of the 1/2 inch little hinges at a time. And you want to, the way that they look really great is to really take your time and make sure that it's lined up perfectly with this bottom piece. So we're going to start at the bottom here and add our glue. Now this might take me a while because I'm still not great at them, but like I said, I'm going to try my best to get it as straight as I can, because that's when they look really good, is when they're all really lined up and straight. I have plenty in albums that are just a little bit off, a little crooked, but they still work and they still function. So that's the main point, right? Uh-oh. Okay. Lining this guy, the second one up, and I know it's hard to see on white on white. So if you can see this second hinge, I added the glue to, and now I'm just lining this up right below that score mark. You don't want them on the score marks. You want them right below. So you're trying to place it in the right place there, and you're trying to get it as straight as you possibly can. See, look, this is already trying to come off, trying to be not straight on me. I'm going to redo my glue. I'm going to score this again because it's not, there we go, that's better. Okay, I got the first one on there pretty decently. Now we're doing the second one again. because it wasn't straight and I wasn't happy. There's the second one, lined up as best as I can get it right now. I also don't want to take too much of your time in this tutorial, so like I said, I'll do the best I can without trying to take up too much of your time. Here is the third one. I'm putting it on the third hinge, just below the score line. It helps to, you know, pick it up and make sure things are lined up. You see how they're lined up here on both on the left and the right side. There we go. Now I'm adding glue to the fourth hinge. I'm trying to let you see what I'm doing as best as I can. I'm gonna add the fourth 4x4. That beeping is my daughter's feeding pump going off, letting us know that it's done for the evening. My husband got it, thank goodness. Okay, there we go. It's not absolutely perfect, but it's pretty close. Good enough for me. Added glue to the fifth hinge, lining up our fifth piece as best as we can. You know, sometimes it's impossible because even, you know, using a paper trimmer, it doesn't always cut it the paper is exactly the same because you got to line it up just right. So if they're off just a little bit, that can throw you off too. But we're trying. There we go. There's number 5. And lastly, number 6 here on the top. And there we have our waterfall. It is not absolutely perfect, but it's pretty close. Better than I've done. Like I said, I've done them pretty crooked in the past. Okay, and let's see. Let's go ahead and add our flaps, our top and bottom flaps here to the top of to our page 6. The bigger flap is the top flap. I am going to lay down that 3/4 of an inch gusset so that I can line this up properly. And just press that score down so that everything, you can line up that 1/2 inch score with your paper. I hope that makes sense. It makes sense in my head, but you know. Now I should have corner rounded everything as we went, but I didn't. So we're gonna have to corner round everything. Okay, I was making sure our page was the right way up. I guess it wouldn't really matter with the accordion fold because it could work upside down. Okay, we're gonna line that up and press down, open it up and press down again. Now, we're not going to add our waterfall yet because we don't have our designer paper cut and picked out and cut and all that. So what I usually do is just paper clip it to my page until I get to that part. But first I'm going to corner round all my things. In fact, you know what? Let me pause the video and I'll be right back because I don't want you to have to watch me do this. BRB. Okay, I'm back. I went through and rounded all the corners of my waterfall here and on all of my flaps throughout all of my pages. If you can see, the outside of the accordion folds. Like I said, all my flaps. I rounded the corners because I think I usually don't do this, but for baby albums especially, I think it looks really cute. Okay, now what I also did is I went through and wrote the sizing of the mat pieces we need for each, like for the flaps, for the pockets, and for the pages. I also labeled the pages 1 through 6 so that I didn't get confused. Oh, I didn't do this one. Let me do that real quick because this is page 5 and this is page 6. Okay, there's that. Now, the last part of the waterfall that we need to do right now is to trim it to size. If you can see with all this white on white, it's just a little too long, and I never trim it until I know exactly how my pieces are gonna lay, and you only need about a ½ inch. You only need this back piece here to be a ½ inch longer than the rest of it so that you can pull it down. So I am going to trim this to leave about a ½ inch past my waterfall. And I'm going to round those corners because that looks silly to have all those rounded and this not. Get rid of my little corners. And lastly, I'm going to measure this so I know how big the mat needs to be. So we're going to do 3 7/8 by 6 7/8. Okay, so there's that. And guys, I think this is where I'm going to end the video in part 3, because part 3 is going to take the longest. I think it's it all is where we're going to cut our the collection kit to fit our pages. And you know, I take a long time deciding on paper choices and everything anyways. Actually, oh, I almost forgot to tell you that for the 3 pocket pages and the 2 pockets, the pocket on page 2 and the pocket on page, is it 4? Yes, page 4. You're going to want to cut out the photo mats for them, and all 5, so 5 total, you're going to want them at 5 1/4 by 7 1/4, and then they will fit into all of your pockets nicely. I rounded the corners on those two, and that'll do it, guys. We'll come back and we will finish up this album. Thank you for watching, and I will be back with part 3. Bye.